and the collaboration began to expand with our collaboration with the Mission Don Bosco, with our friends from Germany, and then coming with the Youth for the World, that also now have become part and parcel of the Tappita mission. Before I speak to how I met them and how we continue our conversation and how the Youth for the World express their desire to be part of the Tappita mission, I will also acknowledge the very important role and the Youth for the World have played in our mission, beginning with scholarship. And when we took over the school administration, the Salesians, in 2019, one of the challenges we had was the students. The enrollment was very low because most of the children could not afford to pay their fees. And so they could not attempt to come to St. Francis, even though our fees is very low, but they could not because they felt the fees were too high for their financial standing. And that's how we appeal to our friends and the Youth for the World in 2020 is where we began. 2020-2021 academic year, we began the form of collaboration. And this collaboration goes far back as 2014. 2014 when they came to Liberia during the time of the Ebola. And there I met Paula, I met Father Jerry, I met a lot of the young people from Poland. They should be almost 14 to 18 if the number, and I'm not mistaken, there were many. And so we were all involved with the holiday camp, and I saw a lot of enthusiasm, especially from Paula, who even refused to go back, even though because of the Ebola, the others went, and she stayed still. And then I used to have conversation with her, why you chose to stay when this deadly disease and the whole world is like, Trimmy, go back. And she said, no, I have to stay and make sure everything is okay, before she eventually went to Ghana and then she went back. And I admire that spirit of sacrifice that the young people make for others. Like Paula, Father Jerry himself being a Salesian, so it's in his DNA. But other young people who make sacrifices to come and share their talents, their time, and piece of their life with other young people who are less fortunate or also in need of some opportunities. So that's why we see our level of collaboration with Youth for the World. And then we have seen again the Youth for the World have sent volunteers. The first volunteers we received here were Rado and Jacob. They were exceptional, even though a very short time and during the coronavirus time, but their presence was so magnificent, and their involvement in the youth center, their involvement in the school and in the parish, teaching some Polish songs. If I still remember, and Rado and Jacob, they taught the choir a few songs. But not just that, but their joy and optimism they express. That's what's so captivating for us, and Rado and Jacob. And today we have Peter and Robert who left. They came also, and also Nicola. In short, we met him in Morovia. These are young people who have come to be part of the mission. Like Peter, he's counting a year now in Liberia. It's a plus for a young man who lives his comfort, who lives a sense of space of security and familiarity, and enters into a mission. He is a living testimony because the mission lacks a lot in terms of food, in terms of accommodation, in terms of amenities. But for us, in our lack, we are not despair. We go ahead because our mission is not for us, but the presence of testimony and service we give to the young people through our witness of teaching, preaching, and lifestyle is also evangelical. And that's one thing we want to also appreciate Peter for his own lifestyle, simple lifestyle, always join the prayer or willing to pray when he's able, and his own personal prayer time. That's something that not many young people even volunteers that we knew before we want to do. They will always want to be in another word. So we appreciate the presence of the volunteers, like Peter, who has been teaching computer science in the school, setting up the lab and doing a lot. Also, not forgetting Robert. He's schooled and what we call expert in the electricity, so you are able to help the mission in stabilizing our electricity problem and connecting the grill and other things. So it tells us about the form of collaboration that we continue to have between the mission and the youth for the world, or the priest and the laity. And that's the sense of what we call the synodality and working together and seeing the church as one, not as a white church, as a black church, as African church, as European church, but one Catholic church.